They called us the tip of the spear, and before I ever wore that trident, I had to become something most men never will. This is my story, and it starts at the very bottom. Day 1 of Marine boot camp. I stepped off that bus, and everything changed. No warning, no mercy. Just a drill instructor 2 inches from my face. The physical part was hard. The mental part was what broke most guys. 3 years into service, I heard about MARSOC for the first time, and I couldn't look away. MARSOC, Marine Special Operations Command, the most elite force the Marine Corps has ever produced. Only the most committed Marines even get the chance to try, and most of them fail. I told my commanding officer I wanted in. He looked at me like I had lost my mind, but I met every single requirement. GT score above 105, secret clearance, combat diver qualified. Then came the letter. Assessment and selection. Report to Camp Lejeune in 30 days. I trained every single day. Not because I thought I was ready, because I knew most men weren't. Assessment and selection. Phase 1. 3 weeks designed to break you in ways you never expected. They were not training us. They were watching us. Every move, every choice, every reaction. They tested integrity, adaptability, stress tolerance. Could you make a good decision when your body was screaming to quit? I watched strong men quit, not because they lacked strength, because they lacked something deeper. I told myself one thing every single morning. You are not done yet. Phase 2. Another 3 weeks. Another level of pressure nobody warned you about. Everything was evaluated, not just performance, but how you treated the man next to you. I passed, and I still could not believe it. Next stop. The individual training course, 9 months, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. This course was not a school, it was a transformation. Week 1, combat marksmanship at a level I had never experienced before. They built us into precise instruments. Every shot had to mean something. Then came the water, combat swimming, underwater drills, and a few moments I genuinely thought would be my last. Every MARSOC Marine had to pass advanced swim qualifications. No exceptions, no second chances. I swallowed water. I sank. I came up and kept going. Airborne training followed. We jumped from aircraft into darkness, into silence, into nothing. That free-fall feeling. I want you to imagine your stomach leaving your body. Language training was next. 6 months learning to communicate in environments where one wrong word could cost lives. They called it cross-cultural diplomacy. I called it survival by conversation. After 9 months in the individual training course, I graduated, and I received the MOS 0372, Critical Skills Operator. Critical Skills Operator. 3 words that meant everything. Then 10 to 12 months of pre-deployment training. Because graduation was not the finish line, it was the starting line. We trained as a 14-man team, an MSOT, Marine Special Operations Team. Every man had a role. Nobody was replaceable. Then the orders came. First deployment. Location classified. Mission unknown. Afghanistan. The mountains hit you like a wall. The air was thin. The danger was everywhere. MARSOC teams had been deploying globally since 2006. Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, the Philippines. Our job in the field was direct action. Get in, execute, get out, without the world ever knowing we were there. Special reconnaissance was the other side. Watch, wait, report. Sometimes for days without moving. We also trained local forces, foreign internal defense, teaching partner nations how to protect themselves. That was the part nobody talked about. We were not just fighters. We were diplomats with rifles. Between 2007 and 2019 alone, Marine Raiders received over 300 awards for valor. But 41 Raiders were killed in combat and training. Brothers who gave everything. I want you to stop and understand what that means. These men ran toward things most people cannot even imagine. In 2012, Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan Gifford entered a firefight that most would not survive. He saved lives that day. He was posthumously awarded the Navy Cross, the second highest combat decoration in the United States military. In 2016, a Marine raider destroyed an ISIS vehicle-borne device with a Javelin rocket launcher and earned a Silver Star for it. These were not highlight reel moments. This was Tuesday for us. Deployments could last anywhere from 90 days to 8 months. You learned to live in uncertainty. Home was somewhere far away. Family was a voice on a satellite phone once a week if you were lucky. But every man on that team would die before he let his brothers down. That bond was unbreakable. MARSOC operates under a motto, Spiritus Invictus, unconquered spirit. Those 2 words lived in your chest every day, especially the days everything fell apart. We had a counter-terrorism mission classification that I cannot go into full detail on. What I can tell you is this. We were there before the news was. MARSOC has conducted over 300 deployments to 13 countries since it was created. 3 battalions, hundreds of teams, 1 mission standard across all of them. Excellence was not the goal, it was the floor. Coming home after a deployment was its own kind of shock. Everything was normal. But you were not. You had just spent months operating in places where every second mattered. Now people were arguing about parking spots. MARSOC had programs for family readiness and support. But some gaps only time and brotherhood could fill. The second deployment was harder than the first, not physically, mentally, because now you knew what waited for you on the other end. But you went, because the man beside you was going, and that was enough. Iraq, different terrain, same level of danger, different enemy, same level of resolve required. Every mission was different. So every Marine had to be adaptable in ways that could not be taught in a classroom. The enemy was not always a person. Sometimes it was the silence before a decision. You had to trust your training more than your fear. That is the only way any of this works. Africa missions involved a completely different kind of work. Training, advising, building trust before anything else. The World War II Marine Raiders started it all, established in 1942. Specialists in amphibious light infantry and surprise attacks. They were disbanded in 1944, but in 2014, the name was brought back. And with it, the responsibility to carry that legacy forward. Carrying that name meant something to every single one of us. It was not just a title, it was a standard. If you are sitting there wondering if you have what it takes, I want to ask you something. Have you ever pushed past a point you thought was your absolute limit? Because that is where this journey actually begins. The path from boot camp to Black Ops operator takes years. It demands everything. And it gives back something that cannot be bought. Identity, purpose, brotherhood, a cause bigger than yourself. I left the service a different person than the one who walked into that recruiting office. Better, harder, more grateful for every breath. And if you took anything from this video, let it be this. The standard you accept is the standard you live. If this story hit different, hit that like button. Drop a comment and tell me what you want to see next. And subscribe, because what is coming will be even bigger than this. The Marine Raiders are still out there right now, doing things the world will never read about. And that is exactly how they want it.